Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar Holiday Prep: Real E-commerce Stories. Just so you know, this webinar is being recorded, so you'll be able to download the entire presentation later in case you miss anything. I'm Danny Randa, and I'm the marketing coordinator here at Trada. I want to let you all know that we do encourage you to tweet during the webinar. We're going to be using the hashtag e-commerce holiday prep. And to one lucky tweeter, we're going to pick one tweeter to receive a $25 gift certificate to Amazon.com. So get those tweets out with the hashtag. It is my pleasure to introduce our host today, Lisa Prasek. She is a marketing consultant who has worked for online retailers like Overstock.com, Dell, and Zappos. And she's going to go through some e-commerce stories from the holiday season to help you guys prepare for the season. Finally, if you guys have any technical issues, if you're having trouble hearing, we have a ReadyTalk person on the line. Just chat that you're having trouble, and they will be there to help you troubleshoot. So yeah, we're going to get started. Here's Lisa.
Hello, everyone, and isn't it exciting to get ready for the holidays? So let's just talk about what transpired last week. Or I guess it would have been Tuesday, is that right? The next one. Oh, dear.
You can just press previous.
Okay, well, let's try again. So good morning, and I wanted to talk about, first off, what was covered in the last webinar. We will not cover this level of detail in this webinar. We're going to be talking about how to plan for your holiday, and we're going to be providing content from 3 different e-commerce providers in terms of what they're doing and what their interests are. And we're going to be talking about a few of my personal favorite things, and that would be jewelry, clothes, and accessories. So I wanted to put kudos out to the folks who helped me put this together, my friend Corey, who works in jewelry, my friend Kim, who's a clothing e-tailer, and Sarah, who's in the accessories group. So what are the trends going on? And what I wanted to do was to start by asking all of you to submit to a poll on whether or not you've already started a holiday plan for the 2011 season. So if you could respond, that would be great. Okay, let's see what kind of responses we got. So about a third of you have already started the process, which is fantastic. So for the rest of you, not to worry, because there's plenty of tips and action items for you to do to get caught up. So let's see. So as we all know, the early marketer gets the revenue. So the early bird gets the worm, as per usual. Want to make sure that you're looking at your campaigns, that you're considering important things such as shipping, making sure that you're targeting specific days, and also considering social and mobile, which we will also discuss. So we all know that holiday online buyers are buying more, but when are they buying? So the important thing when you're planning is to think about what are the top 10 spending days that happen during the holiday season. And we all hear about Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Cyber Monday is the first day in retail history in 2010 where we broke $1 billion of revenue in a single day. So these are the days that you need to focus on and build your campaign around. So what do you need to be thinking about? Consumers expect deals. When you're doing your paid search campaign, you need to be prepared for being able to optimize what you're going to invest in keywords so that you're visible. that you're leveraging not only the opportunities on these days, but the other major days, and then, of course, every day throughout the holiday season. So the other aspect is, how do you compete? So you need to think outside the box sometimes, leveraging, if you're a regional retailer, community events, perhaps extending your holiday hours if you're actually a brick and mortar, and then also providing more personalized service, and perhaps maybe focusing on quality, which we'll see some conversations about that later. So let's talk about the pre-plan, what we should have done in July and August, or we're doing catch-up in September. So what you have done or are doing. So to start with last year's results, take a look at what you've been doing with the keywords, with your ad contents. Take a look at your competition, see what they're doing. See what information is out there and consumer trends. Products and inventory, this is critical. During the holiday season, you want to make sure that you have access to enough inventory to fill demand. You don't want to be creating demand for your competitors. You want to evaluate your messaging and make sure that, that it's working. It's important to start testing that in September. Going into the end of October is when we really start to hit the holiday season. So you have the next 6-7 weeks to really focus on some messaging to refine and get ready for bidding for keywords. So this is important in terms of baseline building. So obviously optimizing for cost-effective conversion is important. So what I want to say is, if you want to watch the last webinar, we talked a lot about SEO and paid search integration. That it's a crowded marketplace, so how do you get above the water? That you need to, again, do your design test now, and iteration. I heard that from the 3 folks who provided content for this webinar. It's all about iterate, 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 and refine, refine, refine. So for a holiday planning schedule in July, obviously a strategy and timeline. Research holiday keywords, create your budget, create a design wish list. So what is it that you want in terms of maybe a few landing pages for specific products? What is it that you want in terms of offers? Do you want a Facebook page? But just pick 2 or 3 new things and do them well. Don't try and do all the things we're talking about today. Pick a few things and try them out. This is a good time in September to be testing that. Define your promotions, identify your feature products, work with your merchandising group, or work with your suppliers. Start the design, and then, of course, do your PPC. So now we're going to do another survey, which is really around what you think motivates buyers in the e-commerce process. So if you could respond to this poll, that would be awesome. So let's look at the results of what people said. And this is pretty gosh darn close to what the real data is. Obviously, people are looking for free shipping. The other aspects that they're looking for, and I'll take you to the poll that was done by BizRate and shop.org, is that if you look at the bottom, obviously shipping, either free shipping no conditions or free shipping conditions was the #1 area that people were looking for that helped them convert to a purchase. Now, be it that you offer it in your paid search or your initial landing, or you offer it to get them to convert, it's a good tool to use. The other aspect is you need to work with your shippers to determine what's the best pricing that you can get to see if it works with your margins. The other part is around loyalty. So building a loyalty program, be it using Facebook, a type of community, special offers for people who register for your newsletter, those types of things really bode well for you in the holiday season. So you want to treat your returning customers well during this time. So holiday planning, nuts and bolts. Let's get down to where we go from here. September, testing ad copy and promos. Mentioned that supplier inventory level. Consider using live chat if you're large enough, or if you have folks in your team who could actually do that maybe during critical shopping hours. It does a lot to help get people through the purchase process. And revisit your customer return policy. That's something that can burn people, and the news gets around, so you want to make sure that it's clear and concise. October. If you're doing any updates to your site or doing any landing pages, this is when you want to get that done, because you want to hit coming into November in stride. You want to move your featured products up to your home page. You want to make sure that you actually are communicating with your current customers, and that, again, we talked about the aspect of shipping, but also start to get that look and feel of the holiday spirit. So for November, again, it's just really design elements, holiday specific, and ramping up to respond to what's happening with competitive keywords and what you're willing to spend. This is where upfront, setting a budget, what your limits were, being flexible in terms of what products are selling. That's what you need to be starting to edit here in the month of November, because come December, you're going to need to be responding to customer orders. So in December, obviously it's something really similar, but what we're talking about in November. And then we want to really just sort of say, what's your checklist? And one of the folks, particularly in jewelry, said segmenting your customers is critical in terms of marketing and relevance. Relevance of your message to the target audience is critical. So if you can identify who they are by getting them to register on your site and communicate with them directly, will help you in the holiday season. Obviously, we talked about planning, products, knowing your competitors, building your landing pages, social media, mobile, and we'll be talking a little bit more detail on some social and mobile aspects for this coming season. So let's talk about the plans. So what's going on with our friends in the jewelry community? Well, they're reviewing last year's patterns. They're segmenting their customers, like I mentioned. They're really looking at the merchandising in their inventory and making sure that everyone's in alignment for what they're going to be promoting, but then also responsive if something unexpected happens. But they're really looking at this year's trends. It's not necessarily so much what sold last holiday season. It's sort of looking at what's fresh, what's new, and some of that might be regional. Email campaigns, they couldn't say enough about that in terms of being able to provide content. But again, it comes back to relevancy of your message. And they're also using a retargeter technology. So this is to deliver display ads on other news and publication sites consistent with what the customer was looking at. For example, when a customer is searching on their site for, say, a new engagement ring, what they'll do in the graphical display ad is have that ring and then 2 other rings in the display on, say, a website like weather.com. So those retargeter technologies are pretty intriguing, maybe a little bit advanced, but an interesting product to look at. So in terms of homepage, we look at Zales. They've already started the holiday season. If you notice, they say semi-annual. So if you think in your brain, ooh, February will be after the holiday, so I need to start looking at this now. So they've really jumped the gun, and they've made it easy for people to start shopping early. We've got the folks at Shane Company, and they create an interactive product that allows you for building charms, bracelets. And what's great about this particular site is how front and center they have how you can contact them. Phone number, chat, email, just right there. And then total, having the numbers right there, very large, and being able to buy right there is an excellent way to structure a landing page. For another competitor at Tiffany's, with their layout, much cleaner, that is just their style, but a very lovely visual view of the different products. So imagery is very important during the holiday. So what tips did they have for us? So of course we talk about patterns, segmentation for promotion, the whole inventory, the email campaigns, and retargeter like we mentioned. They also wanted me to make sure that I emphasized segment, segment, segment. So the relevancy of your messaging, so be it that it's a boyfriend, husband, wife, parent, child, what are the messages that speak to them in terms of their purchase interests. So moving on to clothing. So talking about Zappos, what they've done is they've turned customer service into their advantage. So this is their ability to compete against other online e-tailers. They offer free shipping for their VIP customers and a lot of special introduction offers, early holiday shopping, etc. They have a new campaign about how they offer more than just shoes that have been going on for the last couple of years, and they're introducing a mobile application, which is also pretty cool. So one of the things similar to jewelry is that they've got an outfit builder. So it's an opportunity to put things together. We want people to spend more money when they come to our site. We don't want them to buy a pair of jeans and leave. We want them to look at complementary products. So how do you make it easy for people besides just saying, people who looked at this, looked at these other three things. What are products on your site that go logically together that you want to encourage people to try out? And making it interactive is kind of like the next phase of that. They make a huge effort on Facebook. Facebook is their community. Their highest engagement is the fan of the week. And if you go through it, you'll see quite a few where it's people's pets that have been sent in. But it's been a very big opportunity for them, as well as getting customers the opportunity to provide feedback to them on what their products are. Down here you can't really see very well the graphic, but it shows 3 different outfits, and they're asking their customers on Facebook to rate them so that they determine what they need to get more of for the coming holiday season. So then in terms of the mobile application aspect of their solution, they have the 12 days of Christmas. And for those 12 days, they send out one type of shoe, the 4 handbags, the 7 pairs of socks, etc. The idea is being able to get people intrigued, get them mobile-oriented, get them coming back to the site through their mobile applications. Now, less than 2% of their current demographic uses a mobile device to access their site, but with the rapid use of the iPad and the phone, that's going to be changing as we move forward. So maybe you might want to consider how to use either a mobile application or simply SMS texting in your holiday plans for 2012. So what were their tips? So they were really focused on keyword trending to boost their bids during the height of the season. Being able to expand keyword terms when they have merchandise that gets hot. Shipping, being able to advertise cutoff dates was important. Obviously the community and then mobile. So holiday planning on accessories. So it's just really similar in terms of what their solution focus is. The one thing that's different is that this particular accessory company does more in the way of coupons, giveaways, discounts, direct mail type solutions. They also do co-marketing with the likes of Hallmark, Barnes & Noble, etc. If you can think about folks who would be good partners in terms of marketing with you, I can't speak highly enough about this strategy, and it was one that was unexpected in terms of our presentation today. In terms of social media and holiday keywords, this was one of the primary areas where we started our conversation with them. They really, focus on coming out with their latest and greatest for the next holiday season for their special customers. So they're really sort of looking at tracking what's important to people, and their Twittering is very high usage. And then Facebook, they're using that to deliver gift cards and then also to acquire customer testimonials. The other thing that they're very focused on is blogging. So they use the mommy blogs and people who are raving fan blogs to really put their message out there, and they do a very good job of that. So if you have a constituency who is very interested in your products, highly suggest that you find the people who are influencing through the social media aspects to be able to support your e-commerce efforts. So finally, coming back to the tips, sort of a reiteration: merchandising, partnerships, and community. So we're going to do one final poll, which is asking you, based on what you've learned thus far today, what is it that you're going to do first as a result of this conversation? So let's see what folks are talking about out there. So defining holiday promotions, very, very smart. Last season's performance, I think that everyone should be taking a look at that, but also looking at this year's trends. Reviewing competitor keywords, you want to be doing that predominantly because of you're going to have to prepare your budgeting and have your plan in place, because when the holidays hit and those keywords get bid up, you need to be prepared on what you're willing to spend and where. So it needs to be prioritized and executed. But let's see, feature products. So this is good. Oh, and investigating available inventories. So that's also very good. So just sort of to summarize what we were just currently speaking about is that leverage the holiday season early. Oh my God, it keeps coming sooner and sooner, doesn't it? You know, we've all been seeing for years now around Halloween holiday stuff showing up in displays. So you need to be thinking like that. People want to get their holiday shopping done early, and then of course they look forward to Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So that comes to the holiday window, and the days maybe that worked for you last year might not be the same that worked for you this year. But what's important is to be prepared and responsive in what you're doing. In terms of testing, I say do an assessment of your competitors, but do not follow. Really understand what you have to offer and who your customers are that buy from you, and put together a holiday offer and campaign series that really speaks to them and really helps them, that you're their service provider, that you are delivering their holidays and making it painless and easy. So good luck, and thanks so much for your time today. Oh, we have one more set of slides, which is about who we are. So who's Trada? Trada is a crowd of search marketing experts that provide paid search solutions for you. So what's important about that is that you get multiple experts working on your campaign at the same time, so that they have the multitude of keywords that one or two of us alone can't execute. You get a bunch of them who really know your market making that happen, so you have the diversity of thinking. You got constant optimization and the ability to not only use the Google ad network, but then also using Bing and Yahoo. So the other thing is that around building towards quality score, which will be important to you, and you can learn more about that on the website. So the top 3 points is that it's pay for performance, there's no fees, and you can get started right away. So again, thanks for your time.
And we're going to do some questions really quick. So we've got a few from Yuri, who wants to know a little bit more about mobile advertising. How have these e-commerce sites been able to measure the success of mobile advertising?
So that's a very good question. And the way that they're able to measure it is a function of the metrics that they have in place. So if you can imagine, the mobile applications is quite an investment to execute on the e-commerce level. And they're able to track the source of who that is and link it to the registrant's contact information so that they know where they're coming from to access their website, be it their desktop, their mobile device, or some other access point. So there's systems in place to be able to pull that data that get implemented.
Great. David wants to know a little bit more about blogging. When it comes to close to the holiday season, what topics should we focus on in order to really drive interest for our e-commerce site?
David, what business he's in? Oh.
Yeah.
So
just in general, what blog topics?
So what blog topics are really sort of singing out there is, I mentioned raving fans. So it's important to get other people blogging about you. I do know that, we talked about the 12 Days of Christmas. That's actually content that was used on the blog as well as through the mobile application. So that would be something to give people ideas about what to do for their holiday products and be able to promote products you're highlighting right now. The other aspect about the Raving Fans blogs is for them to talk about products that you have that they really love and would want. And so I think that those are a couple of topics that would help you in your blogging. But most importantly, the blog's really about how to help the customer in their holiday shopping experience.
We actually got another blog question come in right now from Frederick. He wants to know, should you blog on a blog inside your e-store, or should it be on an external site?
And that's a very good question. It comes back to that conversation where if there's promotions and offers that you're wanting to highlight, like I mentioned again, that 12 Days of Christmas, that would be something that you provide on your site, and then you link folks back into where they can buy, learn more, et cetera, about the product offers. Having the external bloggers, obviously you don't have control of the content they're delivering. You're relying on maybe their taste or their relationship with you, what they've done in the past. If you can find folks who have blogged about you or identify people you would like to blog about you, you can always pitch them on things you want to highlight this holiday season and leverage that. So I would say if you could, first of all, do an internal blog strategy to communicate about your offers, but secondarily, external blogs will really help you.
Great. Mark seems to have gotten started a little late in his planning in the past. What can you do if you, what is the most important thing he wants to know to really focus on if you've started late in your holiday planning?
So there's a couple of things that I would focus on. And, September is not too late. So early September, you've got the whole month. So it's a great time to get started. So first things first is sort of looking at your trends from last year. See what worked, what didn't work. Look at what you want to promote this year. What's been hot this coming year? What were you thinking about promoting for this holiday season? And then go back and look at what the keyword trends were in terms of what the price points were over the holiday season. Because if you bid in the range of keywords and you bid low, you'll get low placement and low conversion. you're going to need to invest in those keywords to make the paid search work. So that's on the paid search side of the house. I mentioned before about choosing 2 or 3 campaigns or promotions that would really work for your customer base. One of the things I'm really a big proponent of is surveying your current customers. So sort of asking them what they would like to see from your company in terms of product offers, in terms of promotions, and you can just simply ask them what's a priority for them. We all know that free shipping is going to be important, and we all know that loyalty programs are going to be important. So if you can put in place a loyalty program that people register for and that they get early coupons or access to new products coming on your site, that would be really a benefit. So I would just pick 2 or 3 things that really resonate, but start with doing the analysis on what you want to promote this coming holiday season, taking a look at the keyword trends from last season, putting together your paid search, identifying 2 or 3 promotions that you really want to push, and executing those well.
Great. And we're going to take one more question, and this is from Yuri again. When we talked about motivators earlier, like paid, free shipping and that sort of thing, have you seen anyone have any success doing it with certain hours of the day, selected hours like prime time? You get free shipping if you order between 8 and 9 p.m. or something like that.
Ah, well, that's an interesting question. And what it comes back to is that it's shipping with conditions versus free shipping. And so, as you saw, free shipping was by far the #1, but close behind it was shipping with conditions. So one of the things that has been very successful for the 3 retailers we talked about is that their customers get free shipping if they sign up and register and tell you who they are, so that you can track them when they're on your website and see what kind of purchase behavior that they're having. And that's only to your benefit. So being able to offer shipping for people who give you something, which is information. It should be a trade. There should be value for you as well as value to them. So I think that that's a big area. If it's more cost effective, this comes down to margins, for you to be able to provide shipping during certain time blocks because of a relationship with your shipper, then that's what you need to look at as well. But it's an interesting question in terms of the time of day, and it's not one I've seen.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. And remember, this is just the second part of our holiday prep webinars. We're going to have 2 more. Next one's going to be at the end of September, so keep an eye out for that. And if you want to be registered automatically for that, just email me at dranda@trada.com, and we'll get you in on all of those upcoming holiday webinar series. So thanks again, everybody who showed up. Thanks for the questions, and this is the end of the webinar.